Good evening, everyone. My name is William Inuzzi. I'm president of the Board of Education. I would like to call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Iannuzzi?
Here.
Ms. Barrios Brooks?
Here. Here.
Um, Ms. Castellano Minaya? Ms. Clayton Fernandez?
Here.
Ms. Ross? Mr. Single? Mr. Vega? Ms. Williams?
Present.
A quorum is present. I'm so sorry, Ms. Lewis. Here.
Now, quorum's present. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Colleagues, can I get a motion and second to go immediately into executive session to meet with District Council and discuss the employment history of particular persons, which may lead to the employment of a particular person?
So move Williams. Second Brooks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll reconvene the public session around 7 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. My name is William Iannuzzi. I'm president of the Board of Education, and we're about to reconvene the public session of the meeting. Colleagues, can I get a motion and second to reconvene the public session of the meeting?
So moved, Castellano Minaya.
Second, Brooks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So our first item on the agenda tonight is our Board of Education announcements. Do any of my colleagues have any announcements they'd like to make? Ms. Lewis?
Not an announcement, but I did want to say that I got a chance to go to Trinity for graduation and Jefferson. And so both of them were really amazing ceremonies. So congratulations to our students. Congrats to our teachers and our admin and our staff and our principals and APs and everyone, the families, congratulations. It was just amazing to see all those little folks head off into middle school. And a full circle moment for me to be able to speak at Mr. Hildebrand School, who was my teacher. So it was a blessing to be there. And they even did their graduation song with sign language. So I'm really impressed with our little ones.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. Anybody else? Yep.
I had the pleasure of attending the NAACP AXO Awards this past weekend. My gosh, maybe it was the weekend before, but anyways, I just want to say that these children are our future poets, our future writers, singers. It's amazing what goes on with these young people in this program. That is a commitment off the side, but it's part of all of our kids in the school district in the high school level. And I recommend that all of you who don't know anything about AXO do a little homework. It's a jewel for the kids and the community.
Mrs. Brooks?
I had the pleasure of attending both senior award ceremonies at the high school last week, the AM and the PM, and they were both over 2 hours of our amazing students being honored and acknowledged for their work in academics, the arts, athletics, and service. And it was just really a joy. Similar, kind of maybe the other side of what Miss Lewis talked about, just seeing our brilliant, shining students ready to go out and take out the world. And I take on the world, not take out. The other thing is just that I was thanking the staff of the high school that really put that together and had all of those beautifully wrapped plaques and certificates and checks. And so it really just was an example of the dedication of our amazing staff. So it was really a pleasure.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
Good evening, New Rochelle. June is an exciting time of year for any school district. I am looking forward to attending the award ceremony at Albert Leonard Middle School on June the 24th. And also, I would like to congratulate all of our scholars, families, and faculty and staff for all of the great work that we put in this school year. Have a restful summer. And also, I'm excited to talk about Juneteenth. We're proud to celebrate Juneteenth, commemorating the emancipation of the last enslaved African Americans in the United States, June 19th, 1865. This day holds profound historical significance and represents freedom, resilience, and the ongoing journey toward equality and justice, inclusive learning, diverse voices, and continuous dialogue. It is Freedom Day for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Anybody else? Seeing none, I'm going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the superintendent's report. So Dr. Reynolds, I'll throw it over to you.
Thank you very much, President Iannuzzi. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to all of our families who are at home or watching currently. I would like to reiterate what was just stated by Trustee Williams. Happy Juneteenth to all of us. We will be celebrating this day in the district on Thursday, so please be reminded that all schools are closed on Thursday, June 19th, in commemoration of Juneteenth. I would also like to congratulate all of our young folk in making it through another year. Some of us have come along, some of us were brought along, some of us made our way along, but nonetheless, we are coming to the close of another school year. So congratulations to you and to your village who have helped to bring you to where you are currently. And please keep in mind that your village is larger than you think it is. It includes all of the adults who work in the City School District of New Rochelle in order to help you to traverse the educational arena. I would also like to make a very special announcement. The New York State School Boards Association Board Excellence Recognition Program is designed to acknowledge those school board members who strive to continually expand their governance knowledge and skills. These achievements and their levels are reached when members accumulate points for participation in NSBE's trainings, workshops, events, and activities, as well as for taking on board-related roles such as board president and NSBE advocacy liaison. And tonight, on behalf of the Board of Education, on behalf of the NSBE School Boards Association, we would like to present a few of our board members with some very significant achievements. Firstly, we would like to say congratulations to Board Trustee Roshani Ross for achieving the Board Achievement Award and being conferred more than 75 points for your ongoing association professional development and/or accepting additional leadership roles. So congratulations. We would also like to recognize 3 board trustees for the next level, and this is for the Board Excellence Award. And we're going to start off in board seniority of tenure. So we're going to start with our trustee, Valerie Williams, and she's being conferred the Board Excellence Award for more than 150 points for your ongoing association professional development and/or accepting additional leadership roles. Congratulations. I think I'm going to move out of order this evening. Yes. Next, we would like to recognize Trustee Makita Lewis for her conferring of the Board of Excellence, for her being conferred the Board of Excellence Award, conferring more than 150 points for her ongoing association professional development and/or accepting additional leadership roles. Congratulations, Trustee. And finally, this evening, this person is you're going to hear her name throughout the evening. But we would like to wish a very hearty congratulations to our very own Vice President, Board Trustee Dina Brooks, for receiving the Board Excellence Award for conferring more than 150 points on her ongoing association professional development and/or accepting additional leadership roles, even though she's leaving us. So congratulations, Trustee Dina Brooks. And with that, Mr. President, I turn over the mic.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Reynolds. So the sad part of our agenda is tonight, which is our commendations for our 2 outgoing board members. So just to give the board and the public a rundown of what's about to happen, I'm going to read a commendation for Adina and Katie. I'm going to let everyone have a chance to go around and say something. Then Adina and Katie, you get a chance to talk. And then we're going to vote on the resolution. And then we have presents for both of you, but I want to wait till the end to give those. And take a picture of Monica, yes. Thank you. Okay. So, colleagues, our first resolution for tonight is commending Adina Barrios Brooks as a member of the Board of Education. Whereas the term of office of Miss Adina Barrios Brooks, a dedicated member of the Board of Education of the City School District of the City of New Rochelle since July 1st, 2020, is now concluding. And whereas throughout her tenure, including distinguished service as Vice President of the Board of Education from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2025, Ms. Barrios Brooks demonstrated unwavering commitment to equity, excellence, and accountability in public education, always championing improved educational opportunities for all students. And whereas Ms. Barrios Brooks brought a steady, principled voice to the board, helping to shape the district's vision and policy with thoughtful insight and deep care for the well-being of every child in our schools. And whereas she dedicated countless hours to the success of the district, not only through her formal roles, but also through her active and impactful participation in critical initiatives, including serving on both the 2021 and 2023 superintendent search committees, where her leadership and integrity helped to guide the district through essential periods of transition. And whereas Ms. Barrios Brooks has served with distinction as an audit committee member from 2020 to present, liaison to the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association, representative to the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association Legislative Advocacy Committee, a member of the district-wide Health and Safety Committee, a member of the Board of Education School Board Buddy System, and as a member of the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association's Board of Directors from 2021 to present, among other roles. And whereas in recognition of her tireless service, she has been honored throughout Westchester and New York State, including the completion of the New York State mandated fiscal oversight fundamentals training, the new School Board Member Academy, multiple certificates of appreciation from the New York School Boards Association, the New York School Boards Association Board Achievement Award, the New York School Boards Association Board Excellence Award, and the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association honoree recognition. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education, on behalf of the citizens of New Rochelle, extends its deepest gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to Miss Adina Barrios Brooks for her steadfast dedication, passionate advocacy, and immeasurable contributions to the students, families, and staff of our district. And be it further resolved that this resolution, symbolizing the highest honor this board can bestow, is hereby entered into the permanent records of the City School District of the City of New Rochelle and presented to Ms. Barrios Brooks, bearing the official seal and the signatures of the members of the Board of Education, the Superintendent of Schools, and the Clerk and Secretary to the Board of Education. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Who would like to start?
Are we doing them one at a
Yeah.
time?
Yeah?
Okay.
I will say that I was able to meet, I call them bookends, because in New Rochelle, you often see one, and well, they're together a lot when they come out to the community representing the board. Almost a package deal of friendship, because they are so similar in their energy for this board that it was inspiring for me to join this board. Those two were my impetus to even think that I could be on this board, with such a, just a great committed group of a team. But I think your leadership was what really inspired me when I got started, besides Will, of course. And it's just, it's bittersweet. Actually, it's actually bitter to see you both leave, because you are pillars and you're friendly and smart and just caring for everything, and just, I don't know what we're going to do without you.
I'll pass.
Thank you. It is my profound appreciation and great respect that I take this moment to recognize my school board colleague, the Honorable Adina Barrios Brooks, as she concludes her service on the New Rochelle Board of Education. We have worked collaboratively with our colleagues on the school board, educational leaders, superintendent, and the community to bring continuity, stability, and camaraderie to our district. Trustee Barrios Brooks, your leadership as vice president has been truly outstanding. As the saying goes, you are the kind of leader who lifts others as she rises. Your approach has always been grounded in integrity, compassion, and an unwavering focus on what's best for our students and community. Since your election in 2020, you've dedicated your time, wisdom, and heart to this board. From serving as a board buddy to chairing the Government Advocacy Committee to representing us at the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association, you have been a powerful advocate for equity, opportunity, and excellence. Your impact has reached far beyond our district. You are not only an accomplished educational leader, but also a devoted mother, wife, and friend. Serving alongside you these past 5 years has been an honor. I admire your dedication and the meaningful difference you've made for our children. You will be missed dearly, but your contributions will continue to resonate. Wishing you the best in all that lies ahead. Thank you, Trustee Barrios Brooks, for your exceptional service and for embodying what true leadership means. With deep gratitude, thank you.
So Adina, I have probably spent more time with Adina over the past 5 years than several people in my family. um, we have been through the trenches together on this Board of Education, starting from day one, honestly. Your impact on this board is, I can't state that impact because of how big it was. You have been a backbone of this Board of Education, a voice of reason, a voice of sanity as well. um, I mean, just from your first year getting elected during COVID, through several superintendent searches, and a lot of internal board stuff, but you have always been that voice of reason. The best partner I could have in leadership. Because of you, I don't think I wouldn't be president, honestly, like, if I didn't have that support in those beginning years from you and being just there as that voice, that clarity, and your perspectives. So, I'm not gonna go on because 'cause I'm gonna start crying, but I just wanna say how much I appreciate you and everything you've done over the past 5 years. Thank you.
You can't do that.
I would crack some jokes, but I'm not very good at that. um, where to begin? I will start by saying that watching you in leadership has been a tremendous learning experience. Um, in terms of bringing folks along, like they mentioned before, you asked the questions I didn't think about. You showed me where to poke holes. You showed me what it meant to be in this VP position. And so I thank you for showing me the ropes. I thank you for being kind to me. I'm gonna get to you later, but also being kind to me when I joined this board and being open to me joining this board, giving me a shot to listen to me. You didn't have to, right? But choosing to do so really meant a lot to me. So I know that this is going to be my second year in this position, and so I'm nervous to fly solo, but I know Will has me has my back, and so I look forward to working with you, knowing that I had the training that I did this year. So I know I'm going to try and fulfill or fill the shoes that you left behind. I'm going to do my best.
Um, I don't think I could actually do or say what I'd like to say or do it justice because I feel like Val said it all in a very eloquent way, much more eloquent than I could. But Adina, I have to say that, and similar to Gwen, is in terms of running for the board. That I remember having a conversation with you kind of prior as I was thinking about it, and I really appreciated the insights you gave. But you were encouraging, but you were also very you gave the facts, and I feel like that's been your general ethos, kind of just throughout, where it's encouraging. You've been welcoming to new board members, to myself, in terms of learning the ropes, but also really whenever we've got difficult decisions to make, that you bring the voice of reason and clarity, as Will said, so that we can really focus on the facts and really what's at hand. And I've really appreciated that because there's a lot of times that people can have opinions about things, but actually focusing on the facts makes it significantly clearer. And so your leadership on the board has been fantastic. It will kind of serve us after you leave, well after you leave, and you'll be missed. Thank you.
Well, I don't have nearly the time spent with you that most of the board members have, but I have appreciated getting to know you, obviously, and working with you, and have enjoyed watching you in our meetings. I've learned a lot. I think that you have demonstrated to the rest of the group that it's okay to speak up and speak your mind and what you think is important. And I think that has served all of us really well. And I admire the list of things that Will read earlier, and wondering how you had time to do anything else but devote to New Rochelle schools in the whole. So wishing you well, thank you, and good luck.
All right, I have a little something to say. This is actually something I wrote when I nominated Adina to be vice president 5 years ago and 4 years ago, and I would like to read it again. I wish to nominate the Honorable Adina Berrios Brooks for Vice President of the Board of Education. Please allow me to reintroduce Ms. Berrios Brooks, a woman who truly needs no introduction to anyone in New Rochelle. She has come to be known as a woman of integrity that goes well beyond just words. She is a woman of action, unafraid to rustle feathers in service of what she believes. When she ran for the BOE in 2020, she promised that the voices of our community members would be elevated. She did just that while leading the Citizens Advisory Committee. She will command the respect of anyone in a room and do so with intelligence, grace, and always devoid of staying with the status quo. Ms. Barrios Brooks will also be the first to call out colleagues, myself included, on blind spots, miscommunication, and the lowering of expectations for our school district. Her vision is crystal clear in service of elevating our school district to be more excellent for more kids. She has an unwavering belief in the greatness of our schools, but also in the potential for them to flourish even more for staff and students. Having her as the VP will ensure that we work toward improved governance, check, community engagement, check, and centering our students and their families' hopes and dreams. Check. She knows when to step up and when to step back in the interest of distributive leadership and will work tirelessly to elevate the voices of those around her. Please accept my strongest recommendation for the nomination for Ms. Barrios Brooks for Vice President. You have done just what you sought out to do, going back 6 years ago when it was just a seed idea to even consider running for a board of education. You have done everything that you sought to do. Our superintendent, this board is evidence of that, and I am so proud to be hashtag Kadena with you in this today and always. Congratulations.
Do you want to say something? Oh, no, Millie, sorry.
There's public comment later. So to not forget anyone, I wrote stuff down. Before I step away from this seat, I want to take a moment to extend my deepest thanks to all of you. To Millie and Rolanda, I don't know where Rolanda, there she is. Without you, we wouldn't have board and budget elections or the materials we need to do our work. And we certainly wouldn't have the delicious peppermint patties that are not here today for some reason. You are both consummate professionals who bring grace, precision, and good humor to everything you do. So thank you both. To Ana Santiago, thank you for supporting our superintendents and our board with consistency and care. Your presence has been a steady force behind the scenes. To Martha and Silvana, thank you for making sure that our board meetings are accessible to our Spanish-speaking community. To Travis and the entire IT team, thank you for making our meetings work, in person and virtually. Your quiet expertise has been essential to transparency and access. To Corey, thank you for providing much needed stability and ethical leadership to our district. After years of leadership turnover, your presence has brought steadiness and focus. I'm extremely hopeful and excited to see you and the team continue pushing the district forward. To Gail, Carlos, Olivine, and Joan, I don't know who's here, our central administrative cabinet, thank you for your thoughtful behind-the-scenes leadership and your unwavering commitment to our students and our staff. It's been a privilege to work alongside you. To Monica, thank you for always shining a light on the good. Your stories have helped our community see the heart and excellence of our schools. To our elementary school principals, thank you. Your leadership has built school communities so strong, so beloved, that whenever someone asks on Facebook, what is the best elementary school in New Rochelle? Every single school has passionate families jumping in to say it's theirs. It's Webster, y'all, it's Webster. That kind of community pride doesn't happen by accident. It happens because of your care and your leadership. So thank you. To our secondary principals, Dr. Artiles, Robinson, and Edwards Thomas, thank you for your deep commitment and leadership with kids who sometimes are not quite as lovable as those K-5s. Your support students, you support students not only academically, but with compassion and integrity every single day. And to the beating heart of our district, our students and our teachers and staff, thank you. To our classroom teachers, teaching assistants, special education professionals, coaches, nurses, social workers, psychologists, you meet our students where they are and you help them grow. To our custodians and security staff, our cafeteria workers, our bus drivers, our office staff, thank you for keeping our schools safe, welcoming, and running every day. Yeah, Keith, I'm looking at you. You're in there. This district works because of you. To every student performer who reminded us during our board meetings why we do this, thank you. Your joy, your courage, and talent brought light to every stage in all the board's meetings when we sometimes had really less exciting meetings after your performance, so thank you. To our parents and families, thank you for being partners in this work. Your belief in our children and our schools have meant everything, in particular our PTA leaders and volunteers. Your energy is what powers so much of what our schools do, so thank you. To our union partners, Fuse and ANS, thank you for your advocacy and your professionalism. Our collaboration has made our system stronger and more equitable. To my former board colleagues who are not here right now, but hopefully watching somewhere or watch later, especially Rachel, Julia, and Margaret, thank you. Your service continues to shape the path that we all walk here on this board. To my fellow board members, Roshani, Gwen, Valerie, Sam, Don, and Makita, thank you all so much for both your kind words today and your friendship and your partnership. A special thank you to Will, who has been my partner in leadership for these past 3 years, and really, as he said, since the very beginning. Actually, before we were even on the board, we were co-conspiring on things, mwahaha. Your calm, thoughtful presence and your deep roots in our community have centered us and reminded us always of our why. So thank you. To Katie, I'm gonna do Katie now because I'm talking now and that way I don't have to come back later. When I first met you, you were a teacher in the Bronx, deeply committed to your students and to strong curriculum and pedagogy. Like me, you're a mom of 2 beloved daughters, a proud Latina, and one of the biggest believers in New Rochelle's promise. You've modeled what it means to lead with heart, with kindness, transparency, and courage. You've helped this board stay focused on process and equity. At every turn, you've brought empathy and, yes, love. Thank you, Katie, for making me a better board member and a better person. I love you. To our students in the times of crisis and challenge through COVID, through flooding, through political division, working on your behalf has been a guiding light. You've given this work purpose and direction, and thank you always for reminding us why we all serve. To my family, to my husband, Ross, to my girls, Nola and Clara, thank you for supporting me on this journey. Thank you for your patience with the long nights, the weekend prep sessions, and the constant events. Serving in elected office has been a lifelong dream of mine, and I could have not done it without their love, understanding, and willingness to eat Chinese food every other Tuesday for 5 years. You've made this possible, and I love you all beyond words. To my fellow mamas in New Rochelle, and people know who they are, thank you for your wise counsel, your constructive advice, and your unwavering support. You reminded me that leading with both heart and backbone is not only possible, it's essential. I've learned so much during my time on this board, the power of shared purpose, the importance of compromise, and the quiet strength of coming together, even when it's hard. Serving without compensation except for peppermint patties and pizza, giving your time and energy simply because it matters is a powerful act. I've seen many people in this community, including my fellow board members, do this time and time again. It's what makes us special. And finally, to the public, thank you for showing up, for questioning, for pushing, for speaking. You've brought this very fragile thing we call democracy, which I do not take for granted, to life. To every public commenter, thank you for engaging with passion and then having a warm moment afterward where we could laugh and share and talk about our shared legacy as people in New Rochelle. That civic generosity has meant a lot. This work hasn't always been easy, but it's always mattered, and it's been an honor to do it alongside all of you. Thank you so much.
Colleagues, can I get a motion and second to approve resolution number 25-406, commending Adina Barrios Brooks as a member of the Board of Education?
So moved.
Castellano Minaya. Second, Ross.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. So, next up, we have Ms. Katie Castellano Minaya. Whereas the term of the office of Katie Castellano Minaya, a member of the Board of Education of the City School District of the City of New Rochelle since July 1st, 2020, is concluding. And whereas Ms. Castellano Minaya's tenure as a Board of Education member was distinguished by a profound dedication to the responsibilities of the office, an abiding commitment to the improvement of educational opportunities for all children, including English language learners, and a steadfast focus on fostering excellence and equity in public education, all while advocating for the productive and cost-effective management of New Rochelle's public schools. And whereas Ms. Castellano Minaya brought to the board a unique and invaluable perspective as a school leader and educator, consistently centering the voices of students, teachers, and families in decision-making processes and advocating for inclusive, community-informed policies that reflect the lived experience of those most impacted by public education. And whereas Ms. Castellano Minaya actively engaged with the broader New Rochelle community, building trust and encouraging collaboration across stakeholder groups, and in 2021 served as a respected and thoughtful member of the Superintendent Search Committee, helping to shape the future leadership of the district with integrity and a focus on community priorities. And whereas Ms. Castellano Minaya served with distinction as a volunteer in several capacities, including as a member of the Audit Committee, participant in the Board of Education School Board Buddy Program, and member of the African American Latino Task Force, where she helped strengthen relationships between the board and individual school communities. And whereas in recognition of her tireless service to the youth and families of New Rochelle, Ms. Castellano Minaya has received numerous accolades and awards, including completion of the New York State mandated Fiscal Oversight Fundamental Training, the New York State mandated Governance New School Board Member Academy, several School Board Recognition Week certificates from the New York State School Boards Association, a Board Achievement Award from NYSBA, and honorary recognition from the Westchester Putnam School Boards Association. And now therefore be it resolved that this Board of Education for itself and on behalf of the people of New Rochelle whose trustee it is, conveys its most sincere gratitude and appreciation to Katie Castellano Minaya for her faithful dedication, extraordinary, tireless, and conscientious service, and for her unwavering commitment to equity, transparency, and excellence of public education. And be it further resolved that this resolution, the highest honor in our power to bestow, be and hereby is made part of the official records of the Board of Education of the City School District of the City of New Rochelle, New York, and that a copy be transmitted to Ms. Castellano Minaya, bearing the official seal and the signatures of members of the Board of Education, Superintendent of Schools, and the Clerk and Secretary to the Board of Education. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately, with our heartfelt wishes to Ms. Castellano Minaya and her family for continued good health, happiness, and many more years of personal and professional fulfillment. Congratulations. Should we start from this side this time?
Katie, congratulations. I think one of the things that is so evident and that I learned very quickly is just the amount of passion you have for students, for their parents, for education. And every meeting you brought it, whether we were talking about a difficult topic or something fun. And I admire your passion for education and wish you the best.
Katie, again, I remember talking to you as I was thinking about running for the board, and just your energy and your compassion and your enthusiasm that you brought to that conversation and any engagement that I've ever met you at, whether it's at a board meeting, outside of our board meetings, at community events. You just bring that. It's very infectious, and you can feel your love and your passion for our community and for the students here. And that's going to be truly missed. And I have to say, coming as a non-educator and having your voice as a teacher and an educator on the board, that especially as a new board member, it was very enlightening for me and super helpful as I transitioned into the board. And so thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I will miss your contributions, and I will miss, most of all, just your energy that you bring and your positivity on the board. Thank you.
Ditto to everything that was said so far. I think, along with your warmth and kindness, your heart is always first, and I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss your hugs. Right? They always felt genuine. You always felt like a genuine person. And even from someone who did not know you before, like in order to be able to show that side of you so quickly and comfortably is a great strength. And so you should never take that for granted. And I mostly also admire that you always kept your eyes towards equity. Your heart was always towards equity, regardless of what we were talking about. And so I keep that in mind, and I think of you in those conversations. And so thank you for teaching me to always bring it back home, right? Because you can lose sight of that sometimes, but you never did. So thank you.
Few things to add. People don't know this, but I was very on the fence about running for school board when I did. I was very reluctant to throw myself out there. It's a very scary thing. And Katie said, "Oh, no problem. I got this. We'll do this together. It'll be great." And as my colleagues have just said, Katie can kind of convince you to do stuff. So she did. And I never could have survived the 5 years without you. I'm so proud of you as an educational leader. She's now a principal. So I've watched her go from being a teacher to an assistant principal to a principal. But also, I'm really admire your ability to stay in your lane as a board member, which is not easy as an educator and is crucial. So thank you for that and providing that as a model to other board members. And finally, I said it earlier, you will not find a bigger cheerleader for New Rochelle in this community than Katie Castellano Minaya. And New Rochelle is lucky to have her, and we are lucky to have her. And luckily for me, I now have a lifelong friend.
Katie, we have also been in the trenches the past 5 years. um, what's so special about Katie, and this is not even just about board stuff, is that she always encourages you to make sure you're okay. I would say that almost every meeting we've been to, she's asked me, "Are you taking care of yourself? How are you doing?" Even if, like, in the middle of a meeting when I'm, like, stressed, she'll text me, "She's like, it's okay, you're fine, breathe." And so that's something that has been such an amazing part of you and what you've brought to the board is just, as everyone said, your student-centered focus, but not just for the board. You've been there for our community as well when there's been challenging times, your roles through Fuerza Latina and other things, but you have always been there for our community. And that's something I admire a lot about you. like Adina said, even just seeing your transition, like, can't believe you're a principal and you're on a board of education right now and all the work you have to do. And just admire your work ethic. And you've, even sometimes when you weren't able to make a meeting, you always did your best to be here and move stuff around. And it's something I very appreciate. Me, Katie, and Adina, we joke sometimes that we're, after our board service, we're gonna start our own superintendent search firm because of all the work that we've had to do the past couple of years. But I do honestly thank you for your friendship over the past 5 years. The times where us three and Julia have had to go get a drink just because we had to digest things. But you've always been there, and with the student-centered focus that you have, has been instrumental for this board and the North Star. So thank you.
It is with deep admiration and heartfelt gratitude that I take this moment to honor my school board colleague, the Honorable Katie Castellano Minaya, on her final regularly scheduled meeting as a member of the New Rochelle School Board of Education. Trustee Castellano Minaya, it was my honor and privilege to swear you in back in 2020. And it has been my honor to serve beside you for these past 5 years. You are a loving mother and wife, friend, and educational leader. You have brought heart, vision, and action to this board, and always with the children of New Rochelle at the center of your decisions. Together with our colleagues, we've worked to build continuity, stability, and a renewed spirit of collaboration within our district. You have been a steady and principled voice, someone who honors her roots, uplifts community voice, and never forgets the value of inclusive and equitable education. As you once said, you dedicated your service to families who simply want the best for their children, regardless of background. You lived that promise every day. As a bilingual educator and lifelong advocate, you leave behind a legacy of integrity, compassion, and impact. Your leadership, both on the board and in your professional life, will continue to inspire. As the saying goes, and I want to say this authentically, se siembran semillas hoy para que otros disfrutan de la sombra mañana. You planted seeds, Katie, and generations will benefit from that shade. You will be missed as a trustee, but you will always be in our hearts. And also, thank you for keeping us together. Best wishes and good luck on what comes next. Thank you for everything.
Okay, so I'm the end, huh? I will say this about Katie. She's a little bit like a giving tree. She's nonstop, and I have to say that it's an absolute gift to the community that we have a board member. We have all these great board members, but on the departure of these two, I would say, let me just say that a principal, a mom, I can't tell you what a gift that is to this community when we're talking about a school board that must deal with equity and students that have needs all the way up to the AP superstars. There's just not a moment that nothing overwhelms her. It's amazing. She keeps her cool. And I have to say, I watched by example a long day, and then she comes in with a very laser focus to the topics. And I just want to say that to the community out there, when you have that kind of gold in the room watching over your kids, it doesn't get better than this. And I want to also say that on top of all of that, she makes everything fun. She really does. She will, the humor. And it just, I don't know, for me, having the optic of watching someone who not only has this light, kilowatt energy, but she really knows her stuff. And I think it's inspired all of us to be better board members and to be better community members, because that background of being a teacher to a principal, that leadership is something that we should never take lightly. And I know a lot of times people might just, oh, it's Board of Ed, but this is a package, a gift that we are going to really miss, both of them. And I'm just going to say, I hope, yeah, I hope we can follow your footsteps, because they are well lit, and it's a yellow brick road for you guys. So thank you.
No, I got it. Thank you. Just to Katie and Adina, thank you both so much for being such good examples of not only women in leadership positions, but of Latinas. It really means a lot to have such good role models. Thank you both for being so welcoming. I have felt nothing but appreciated this entire time that I've been on the board with you, and you both will be very missed. So thank you.
Okay.
Everything Adina said. I don't know to repeat it. Not one bit of it. She crushed it. Absolutely. Absolutely, as always. So I will just leave with a message of my core values when I ran for the Board of Education. What I wanted to embody in my campaign and through the last 5 years together with this board was that together we're stronger, equity and inclusion, positivity, humility and growth, learning from the past to look toward the future. That's it. That's what I believe in every day, and I hope that that continues. And obviously, if it doesn't, or for some reason, I'm going to show up and I'm going to support you and I'll hold you all accountable. You know I will, because our students deserve it, and because I still believe truly that New Rochelle is and must continue to always be a proof point of inclusivity and excellence and raising the bar for every single student and every single learner. So we've got work to do. And I know that this board and this district under Dr. Reynolds' leadership is in the best of hands. Good luck.
Thank you, Katie. Colleagues, can I get a motion second to approve resolution number 25-407, commending Katie Castellano Minaya as a member of the Board of Education?
So moved, Brooks.
Second, Ross.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
So I wanted to wait until it was official. That's why I was waiting for the resolution. And now I have the awkward position of speaking both ways. So I'm going to state collectively to the both of you, and the reason why I chose to do this, and I'm going to do most of my talking to the camera because I want this to resonate with our community. The reason why I chose to wait until now is because of the inseparability of Katie and Adina, Adina and Katie. They ran for the board at the same time, were elected at the same time, and have walked hip to hip together during their travels. I am reminded when thinking about them of an air traffic controller or of United Auto Worker number 365 who put the steering column together. It is those mentioned and unthanked individuals that keep us safe, that make sure that we are traveling in the right direction at the right time, that we take off when we need to, that we land when we can and when we're supposed to, and are often gone unthanked for the work that they do. So to your families, hopefully you're watching, I want to thank you for sharing these two fantastic individuals with us, to take care of our collective children. It does not go unnoticed because we've had them many more hours than you have on many occasions, and we thank you for sharing them with us. But to the two ladies on the board, I'm going to state collectively, you are the Tin Man, you are the Scarecrow. Together, you're both the Lion, but most importantly, you're both Dorothy. You're the Tin Man collectively because nothing but heart that's given to the work that you do on a daily basis. The Scarecrow because you put your mind behind every word you state. The Lion because oftentimes the courage that's necessary to do what's right for most, if not all, is not an easy thing to do. And Dorothy, because New Rochelle will always be home, and you've left your mark. So I want to thank you very much for all that you've done on behalf of all of the families for New Rochelle. And we hope that you don't go too far away in case we need you again in the future. But I have 4 words for you, and they're from the heart. Thank you, and thank you. Congratulations to the both of you.
Adina and Katie, can you meet me up there for a second because we have to give you your presents. We have a resolution, which was a commendation that was voted on, and they also have a recognition certificate from Westchester Putnam School Board Association.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
All right, everyone, back to our scheduled program for today. Our first discussion item is the 2025-2026 district-wide school safety plan. So Dr. Reynolds, can I throw it over to you to set the stage?
Thank you, President Iannuzzi. So as normal, annually, we do have to bring to the attention of the community our district-wide safety plan. Usually, this is updated to reflect current positions and people in those positions with the responsibilities that are required of those individuals throughout the school year for this year for 25-26 and school safety. So the school safety plan has been updated with names of individuals intended to have the responsibility for certain aspects of our district safety, and it is one that is reviewed in conjunction with our director of facilities, our director of security, as well as by the superintendent's cabinet. And tonight is presented to the through the board to the public for I think a 30-day review. If there are any questions, recommendations, please we ask that you submit those to our board clerk, and right and we will take those into consideration. So for your review and for your consideration.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Reynolds. If you look in the plan, you can see on page 4, it has the timeline of what is supposed to happen with this. So tomorrow, public comment will start on June 18th and end on August 1st, and then we'll have an adoption on August 14th. Do any of my colleagues have any questions or comments about this? Okay, seeing none. Our next discussion item is the 2025-2026 board meeting calendar, which will be adopted at our reorganizational meeting. Colleagues, we're doing something a little different this year. One of our board colleague, Mr. Vega, is not here. He requested that we try to do as much as possible to not coincide with city council meetings. So we moved a couple dates, knowing that the city council meetings are the second and third Tuesday of the month, and ours is usually the first and third. So we have tried to move our second meeting of the month, which is the third Tuesday, to the third Thursday of the month. So as you can see, we have a lot of Thursday dates compared to Tuesday dates from this year. Take a look at it. If you see any issues, please share it. I know, Mr. Single, you highlighted one thing, you flagged one thing for us about some holidays. We spoke to our new incoming members, and I know there was one date that didn't work for one of them, but the others did.
Also, please keep in mind that these dates and these locations, the locations more specifically, are subject to change depending on availability of spaces and what's taking place in the buildings.
Yeah, and then we even usually we have a special meeting in March for a budget workshop. So we decided instead of just waiting for the last minute, we added it already to the calendar. So you can see in March, we do have 3 meetings instead of 2. We are at all the different schools again, and the same schools for the budget hearings. We're at the Remington Boys and Girls Club again in October. It is a mix of different schools and central admin, so we have a mix throughout the calendar. Is there any comments or questions at this time on this calendar?
Just one comment, not a question. Just that you'll see that we obviously have our annual election. For those who have mentioned the date for that, that is state mandated.
Yes, the third Tuesday in May. All right, seeing no other comments or questions, we will move on to the next item, which is the second reading of 3 of our policies. So these are the policies we had a first reading at our first meeting in June, and these are all state mandated policies that we have to adopt before July 1st. The first one is policy number 2245, the ex officio student member of the board. We've not changed anything since the first reading. Is there any comments or questions? Or Dr. Reynolds, do you have anything new to add? Okay.
No questions, just a comment that we as a board received the feedback from the community that you shared last time. So thank you.
Yeah. And even today, NYSBA, the New York State School Boards Association, did send out a handbook or guide for when the student ex officio member starts. And we have an example guide from another school district to use as well. Okay, so the second policy for second reading, which all these will be adopted tonight, is the students and personal electronics devices. Dr. Reynolds, any changes from the first reading? No changes. And this is the policy that we will definitely be working on, and there'll be more probably administrative regulations regarding this. Yeah. Any questions on this policy, colleagues? Okay, seeing none. The third one is policy 8113, extreme heat condition days. As stated, it's also mandated. Dr. Reynolds, any changes to this one?
No, I would also like to thank our public speaker, Dr. Rosa McCutcheon, for her recognition of very specific legal language. I purposely did not mention them, but thank you for bringing them to our attention. But the policy is written in a way that it kind of does help school districts in the moment, but it's not something I'm going to rely upon because that can change at any moment.
Perfect. Colleagues, any questions or comments about this policy? Okay, seeing none, that was a fast discussion period. Next up on our agenda is our public comment period. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to convene into the public comment period of the meeting. The Board of Education adopted Policy 1230 in April 2022 to ensure all members of the public had the opportunity to speak at both of our board meetings each month. We believe it is crucial for us to hear from our community members about their concerns and issues. Having said that, please note that the board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. Accordingly, understand the board will not respond to your concerns and questions tonight. We take your concerns and questions seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues if need be. We will, however, respond to your questions and concerns at a future meeting or have the proper staff member get back to you at the appropriate time. I also want to point out that under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments or questions about school personnel and students. Please know, however, that we take personal concerns very seriously. On these matters, we would ask you to go through the appropriate administrative channels. Finally, we recognize that right now our nation and our community are polarized on a number of issues. That said, we want our school board meetings to serve as an example to our students that members of our school board and members of our community can deal with controversial issues in a civil manner and demonstrate mutual respect for one another. In that spirit, we will insist that all speakers and members of the audience maintain civility and respect for any divergent views that others possess. We ask that speakers please address their comments to the board directly rather than the audience. In the unlikely event the meeting becomes unruly, the board will recess the meeting and return once order has been restored. Finally, I want to remind everyone that you may submit written comments to the board in lieu of speaking during the public comment period if you so choose. Tonight, we've set aside 30 minutes for public comment, where each speaker who has signed up before 3:30 today has 3 minutes to speak. If a person requests to speak after 3:30, you may sign up in person at the meeting with the clerk and will be afforded the opportunity to speak during the public comment period if time permits. I have no public comment speakers. Would anybody like to sign up tonight? Mr. Malfitano?
Good evening. Is this on? Vince Malfitano, thank you. To the board members that are leaving, I thank you for your service. Just a couple of comments in my years of watching. Some of the actions that you took with your colleagues have been very divisive and hurtful, especially to members of my community, the Italian community. For no good reason at all, you've decided to add Indigenous Peoples' Day with Columbus Day. When I suggested before you voted on it years ago, make it the day after Thanksgiving. There's no holiday, it's a day off from school. It recognizes the more hopeful story of the Pilgrims and the Native peoples. I was a teacher for 40 years, and we always taught about Columbus, the good and the bad and the ugly. But that particular night, when I suggested hold off on your vote, you two folks championed this divisive and I dare say hateful resolution for no good reason other than political gain from some of the other states around. It became an issue. Rather than bringing us together, you sought to bring us apart for political gain and maybe satisfying some people in your community. That's rather unfortunate. I thought better of you. Maybe you'll think better of it again. The day after Thanksgiving is the better day. It's an inclusive day. Some of us have been trapped into thinking that their actions were correct, right? Let's see what happens. Another item. We If I didn't notice it last January, our superintendent would have been approved for a 5-year extension of his contract with no public comment, none. I like the superintendent, but I seem to remember some of you joined a group called the Collective to scream about no public input. Oh, this is an extension. Where was the public input on this 5-year extension? Nowhere. Any public performance review? Nowhere. You failed us. Why? The budget? Unfortunately, we have seen, because of, I might say, inattentiveness, you almost put us over a financial cliff this year because of some of your failure to actually see what was happening to the COVID money that was running out. And of course, when I pointed out that you guys created a class that excluded students on the basis of race, and I said it here, you said nothing about it. I hope you think about these polite critiques of your performance, and maybe your replacements and those other among you will take to heart what I said.
Next up for public comment is Mr. David Peters.
First of all, I am really thrilled with the service that Katie and Adina have provided as board members here in this wonderful city of New Rochelle. With all of the different ways in which this city has emerged and all of the passions that exist within the city and all of the ways in which people can be people and say and do, and our children have an opportunity to see what you bring. And so I want to take this time to talk a little bit about what you bring, not all of the other kind of stuff that oftentimes becomes something to lift up. What both of you have brought is a sense of purpose to the New Rochelle School District. You've brought a sense of commitment that we sorely needed at that time, and we're able to provide that over the course of the 5 years that both of you have served. Frequently in service, you are asked to sacrifice a lot. You sacrifice time with your family. You sacrifice time with your children, with your husbands. You sacrifice times with your communities and the clubs in which you have been engaged in. And you've sacrificed time selfishly for the purposes of bringing this school district to a better place. That cannot be minimized or diminished by angry, hateful, envious words that exist within our community as well. And so I want to salute you for what you have done and what you have meant to this city. And do not leave here with your heart heavy or some sense of feeling that somehow, some way, people's words can injure your purpose. It cannot. Your purpose lives within you. It lives within your children. It lives within your family. It lives within this community. And it is a purpose that will never die long after you're gone. And so having said that, I want to thank you for all and everything that you have done and have yet to perhaps do. I also want to say to the board members that are here, having served on this board, I can say to you that I do miss our dinners being ordered from other places when we're in the back in that room. Now that room, although people may not know this, and I certainly won't say this, but there's a lot that occurs in that room when you're in the executive session. There's a lot of pain and tears and joy and laughter and a sense of commitment. And so I know I'm over my 3 minutes, but I'm gonna end right here, right? But again, we love you. So I want you to know that we love you. The city of New Rochelle loves you. We may not have people who agree with what you say or what you do, but we love you. So leave on that magic carpet of love, not this magic carpet of hate and resentment and nonsense. God bless you in all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Would anybody else like to sign up? Dr. McCutcheon, Rosa McCutcheon?
So I think David said it really well. Unlike some members of our community who paradoxically talk about the divisive decisions you've made, but actually are divisive in their words and in their actions. I think Katie and Adina, you're to be commended for the work that you've done and the efforts that you've led in conjunction with the Board of Education. I know that when you started, yes, we were proud members of the collective and still claim that and hold that up with pride. And you stepped into what was really quite a nightmare and in really difficult times and have persevered. Certainly, there are decisions that the Board of Education and that history maybe has not necessarily gone as you had hoped it had gone, or the legacy that you wanted to leave. There perhaps are things that are unfulfilled, yet the parts of the legacy that you upheld as your North Star, I think, are solid. And as David said, I think you should be proud of that. We certainly are proud of you. I'm proud of you. I know that Kadena has always been seen as a package. However, I know that that doesn't necessarily mean that you think with one brain, that in fact you may have disagreed, but that you did so in a way that demonstrated integrity, your freedom of thought, and your passions. And so I want to also recognize you for the individuals that you are, and recognize that you both individually made an impact on the community, on the board, and the school. And so I know your work is not done wherever you are. So I want to thank you. I do want to make just a couple of comments about some things that have come up. This is not related to thanking Katie and Adina, but one of the questions that has come up in a few places online is around the heat that is happening at the end of, or in the middle of this week, maybe that's tomorrow or the day after. And so while there is the heat policy for the school buildings, there are lots of kids that are traveling on buses that are not air conditioned, and they travel a long way. And so there are a lot of parents, moms, that are expressing some concerns about this and want to know what is going to be done to ensure the safety and the well-being of the kids that have to take the bus in order to go to school, that don't have another recourse. I'm guessing it's the yellow buses. So I just want to bring that to the forefront, because sometimes the chatter happens on Facebook but doesn't necessarily rise to your attention. So just please take note of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is Miss Miriam Dasim.
Good evening, Miriam Dasim. I want to, yes, echo thanks to Katie and Adina. Not always agreed on the decisions that are made, but I know you guys work hard. And of course, we knew each other from collective and know the intent, your heart, your love, your sacrifices. Always appreciate that. That can never be questioned. So just want you to understand that no matter what our discussions are with the particulars, the overall, your contribution is greatly appreciated and bittersweet to see you go. So having said that, I still want to emphasize some of the things that we as a district still need to outline. Yes, the budget passed, but we made a lot of cuts. We need to understand how that's going to impact our school district. It's not okay that we don't have the home economics. No, we let go of that teacher at Alba Leonard. And I remember us fighting hard for Isaac to get home economics because that was what kept them from having that A triple rating or double rating, whatever that was. And now what does that mean? So we need to understand these details of these cuts and how it impacts us. Latin, if we don't have Latin, again, what does that mean? And also, when can we maybe get them back? Because it's hard to put these programs in place. And so when we just go out and cut them, now it's going to take a lot for us to get its back. And my hope is that we get these back. So those are just some of the top of mind thoughts about some of our cuts. There's more. World language, I can remember folks fighting for that at the Remington Boys Club before it was renovated, right? We fought hard to have world language, and now we're removing it or have diminished it. We need to understand that. So that all of those details need to be laid out. We're not out of the woods, so we still need to understand all of the transportation, I don't see the time, data that is behind a lot of these requirements and what we've talked about. We keep asking for this, we still haven't gotten it, we're still looking for it. So the last thing I'm gonna spend time on, of course, is this. It is a disastrous decision to have our graduation move to county center instead of on our beautiful grounds. You are taking away a tradition and a beloved time to celebrate all of our graduates. We hope that this is changed also and brought back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Seam. Next up is Mr. Keith Singletary.
Good evening. It's bittersweet to be here today just because I'm here seeing two people who have set such a high bar, such an example to our New Rochelle board. When I first came to a Board of Ed meeting, it was absolute chaos. And I remember these women, I actually remember the morning in which you made the announcement that you were going to join the BOE. And I applauded you then, and I can't express how much I applaud you now. Over the past years, it has not been difficult. It's been challenges for each of you guys individually. But I've seen the leadership in which you guys provided. I've seen how you've listened to the public. I've seen you be the voice to the marginalized, to the poor, for the voiceless. You provide an example to myself, and I thank you. I sincerely thank you for that example of showing how it is to be a community leader, a person of service. And for that, I humbly applaud you guys. And with that being said, I have to say to the rest of the board, understand that the work still is to be done. I know from personal experience that our city is very divided in certain areas. Please do not be discouraged by this, but please use that to energize you guys. Use that as a method, a way to understand that the work is hard, but the success of being there for so many people that need you to do the work, for you to do the communication, for you to come together, for you to reach out and to listen is so important. It's the reason why I took certain steps in the past, and I look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singletary. Would anybody else like to sign up for public comment tonight? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to our resolution period of the meeting. New business consent agenda personnel resolutions. Colleagues, can I get a motion and a second to approve consent agenda for personnel resolutions number 25-408, 1 through 1, number 25-409, 1 through 4, number 25-410, 1 through 24, number 25-411, 1 through 13, number 25-412, 1 through 6, and number 25-413, 1 through 26, according to the recommended action for each item.
So moved, Castellano Minaya.
Second, Brooks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is our new business consent agenda general resolutions. Colleagues, can I get a motion and second to approve consent agenda for general resolutions number 25-414 through number 25-428, according to the recommended action for each item?
So moved, Brooks.
Second, Castellano Minaya.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next meeting will be our reorganizational meeting on Tuesday, July 1st. We're going to move it Tuesday, July 1st here in Central Administration. Colleagues, after we adjourn this meeting, there is a light reception outside to celebrate Katie and Adina. So Katie and Adina, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
So moved, Brooks.
Second, Castellano Minaya.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everyone.
I did. Okay.
No.